teaching this morning and this reed has died, and I want to tell you about how I know it's died. Hi, welcome to today's vlog. I was going through some of the old Q&A stuff and just trying to make sure I'd answered questions, and I realised that I don't think I've answered a question that was asked before, and it's a very, very good question. So if I can find the question, it will appear below. But it just prompted my mind because this happened this morning, and the question was, how do I know when a reed's gone soft? Now, this has been my favourite reed for the last 6 weeks. It's the Dario Sledgehouse 3M filed reed. I played it on all the concerts in Berlin. I played it on a recording session I did a few weeks ago, played it on all my gigs I've had this month, the When Polly Met Fergie gig, that if you're a Patreon of mine, you'll have heard some of the tracks from that. Played it at the Haymakers last week, played it on the actual things you haven't seen yet, some footage from sax.co.uk, which I will bring you. Make sure you're subscribing, because that means you're going to know about it straight away. But how do I know? And I was just teaching this morning and this reed has died, and I want to tell you about how I know it's died. I'm also going to use the advice of Richard from Dario, which we spoke about in this vlog, about how to break in the reed. So I've got some reeds breaking in now. And I'm going to leave those for a maximum of 5 minutes, and I'm going to try and break them in, put them in the case so that they're ready for the really big gig I've got in central London next Sunday. That's a week on Sunday, because I want to have at least 2 fantastic reeds as good as this reed was. But let me just tell you how I knew it was going. It's starting, as you can see, it's starting to go a bit green. It's starting to kind of, you can start to see, hopefully that's coming through, the mark of the mouthpiece. The cane's starting to feel a bit tired. They're starting to get kind of flat marks on it where it's not, you know, there's kind of, oh, it's mould or what on it, to be honest. That's one of the reasons I know it's going. It squeaked on that low D, it wouldn't normally do that. Feels like it could split and squeak at any second. Top C doesn't really have any guts to it. So long, fantastic reed. We did some great gigs together, but it's time for you to go in the knacker's yard. Now, this might look like the worst product placement in the world, but it was literally, honestly, the Guinness glass was the first glass I had to hand. It was bought by a family friend of mine. So these reeds have been soaking for 5 minutes. And what I want to do is just break them in very gently while we're doing my ligature. Very quickly, this reed is has got a much, whoa, don't want to drop it, is much, I was going to say much more yellow, but that's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? It's got a much better colour to it. It's a much more greater shade of yellow. There's no green on the back bit. It's not as flat. You can't see marks of the mouthpiece, obviously, because it's a brand new reed. So it flips on to the mouthpiece. Very careful not to nick it with a ligature on the way in, and I've done that many times. Brand new reed, snip the top of it with a lig if you're not careful. Remember the first notes you ever really learnt on the saxophone? You know, not overblowing it, not going mad on it. It feels good already. I'm quite happy with this reed already. I can tell it's going to be quite a good one. How? Because it's displaying those opposite characteristics of that dead one. There's resistance there, but not too much. There's just enough. There's a nice centre to the reed sound. It's responsive down the low register. It's giving me it's responding in the way I want it to. It's a consistent response, which the other one was giving me up until about 2 or 3 days ago when it started to go soft and was dying. This one feels slightly soft. I'm a little worried it might not last too long. It feels like it's giving up too much too soon, but it's a good reed and that will go straight into the box. Now a bit more resistance on this reed. It doesn't feel quite balanced. Sometimes a little trick, I'm not sure whether it's the right thing Richard was telling me to do, but my teacher Ray Wilkes used to tell me to do this with the thumb. Just get your thumb very gently and press it up against the reed a few times, just very slowly, just working it up like that, and then hold it for 3 and then play again. What do I know? He knew what he was talking about, didn't he? I'm just going to give it one scrape with the Reed Geek. Let me see how I can do this for you guys. Literally just once up the back of the reed. There you go. Ow! Not sure if I can bring that up on the screen, but kind of like normal finger, Dan's broken finger. There's a big lump there. Time to take a break. By the way, if you haven't, there's only 5 more days left to win this fantastic D'Addario Christmas present. There's a mouthpiece in there, loads of reeds, loads and loads of goodies. Make sure you click the link below. I can't hold this with my finger. Heading out now tonight to a public meeting. My MP has invited me along to discuss things about the Brexit vote next week. It's very good of her, particularly she's been an opponent for the last 2 elections. So, but it will be, I don't think I'll be able to film much of it, but it'll be an interesting opportunity to talk about the impact that this proposed deal and the vote next week will have. Probably when you're watching this, everything might have been sorted, but I'll be back to normal and I'll wake up from the... No, never mind, let's not discuss politics on here too much.
We have some battles. The first battle is our economy. It's stupid. And anything we do which damages our economy, damages our NHS, damages our science, damages our future prospects.
Ooh. So, don't really want to spend, as I said, too much time talking. Let me get in focus, talking politics. This isn't the vlog really for that, really. Obviously, politics is an important part of my life. I've spent quite a bit of time doing it, but it was really interesting tonight to see the hall so packed, and also at the end, Heidi, our MP, asked for a kind of straw poll of different things, and it was quite noticeable that hardly anyone in the room was happy for the current deal that Theresa May is trying to put before Parliament, a bit like most of the MPs, and also how, if you basically only very kind of visual guess, but very much the room was almost like how the constituency voted 2 and a bit years ago, and you kind of think, are things really going to change that much in that amount of time? But it was great. It was one of those sort of more town hall debates, you call them in the States. So interesting times. But anyway, that's it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. If you found it useful, give us a good thumbs up and a like. Check out my last vlog here. This is what I was up to this time last year, and as always, please do hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be taking a break over the weekend. I'll be back with you next week with a Q&A vlog, so please do send your questions in. Let's get those questions in before Christmas, and don't forget to enter the competition. Bye bye.